In this video, we're going to continue learning about what are the kind of images that we need to select to tell the story in the best way possible. We're also going to learn about how to fine-tune a raw image and what are the various factors or parameters that we must consider while editing images.
So, as you could see, I have shortlisted 6 pictures here. So, these 6 pictures I will further edit and then eliminate a few. So, you could see I have chosen 3 of the close-ups and 3 of the longer shots. So, as I said earlier, the longer shots are to give a context of the picture, and the closer shots I chose because they had better impact. So, now I have marked them. In this case I have marked 9, does not matter whichever number you give. Then what I am going to do is, likewise I am going to go ahead my entire folder and then mark them or label them. Once that process is over, I am going to now see only the labeled pictures. Why I am going to see only the labeled pictures? Because now I have made my first round of selections. I do not want the photographs I have selected and I did not select. So, I will do a second round of selection based on what I have marked now. So, essentially I am going to now command the menu to show the pictures I have labeled first. So, in this case I am just asking the software to show me the pictures I have labeled. So, now as you could see, the thumbnails are got reorganized on their own, and on the top row you see the photographs I labeled are on the top row, whereas the pictures otherwise that are existing in the folder are those that are following the labeled photographs, right. So, now your first round of editing is over. Now that I have made the first round of selection, I will have a much closer look this time of all the pictures I have shortlisted in the first round. So, I am going to essentially look at pretty much all the pictures. So, I am looking at the close-up shots first, 1, then there is this one, then I go to a longer shot. So, there are 2 pictures I am pretty interested in about the close-ups. Now, there is a confusion in me which one is the best. There is a minor change, but then I would choose based on a variety of reasons. Why I would choose a particular picture would rely on a variety of reasons. In this case, I am primarily going about the aesthetics of framing or composition, I would say. So, which between the 2 is more pleasing for me, I will have to decide. So, for me this one looks a lot more pleasing, it is a lot more balanced in some sense, but this is a personal feeling. As a photographer you will have a personal preference, a personal like. So, feel free about it, that is where you have your style. So, there is nothing hard written rules about this. Go ahead with the picture that you feel is best representing what you want to convey to your audience, and then I move on. Then as you could see now in the larger version, you could see the close-up avalanche like close-up and then the larger context. So, here you could see the whole hill on which this group of houses are flowing down the slope. So, this I thought these 2 pictures together will tell a better story rather than just me showing the close-up of those houses on the hill slope. So, that is the logic behind why I chose these 2 pictures. Now, once you have done with this choosing your final picture, then you move on to fine tune these pictures. Why do we have to fine tune? So, here again before fine tuning you ensure that you have chosen the right picture for your output. See here what I am doing is, you saw there is one in vertical format and one in landscape format. Depending on the output you want to use it in or the format in which you go, you can choose one of it. So, this is for an example I am showing you. Just take your time to see them in an enlarged view, ponder over it, go through it, see if the lighting is correct, see everything that you wanted to say through these frames are present in that, and then you choose. Take your own time. With experience you will be very fast in choosing the right picture. In fact, seasoned editors hardly need less than a second to see a picture and decide whether this would work or not. I will give you an anecdote. I remember the time when I went to a media house seeking a job as a photojournalist, and I met with the photo editor, and he said, "Show me your work." So those days I was still shooting in film. I had these transparencies mounted on a frame and then kept in a transparency holder. Transparency holder is basically a plastic sheet which held about 12 or so transparencies together. So I have it about 4 or 5 where I organized my work the way I wanted and then showed it to him. All he did was he lifted each transparency holder against a light source. He hardly spent about a couple of seconds, I would say even less. He basically flipped through all the 5 or 6 leaves I gave him, and then he put it down. I said, I think we could work together. So initially, as he was putting down so quickly, I was a little disappointed whether A, did he really have a look at it, or B, maybe these pictures are very bad. So I was feeling a little worried about it. But then when he put the transparencies down and said, okay, perhaps we could work together, then I felt, that's when I realized that such experienced people have such a sharp eye that they could, in a fleeting moment, could figure out the quality of the picture and a lot of other things about it. So likewise, it all comes with experience. The more amount of time you spend on it, the more proficient you become in that trade. So nothing to worry about in the beginning. Even you for sure you will be like spending hours and hours when you sit with your first round of editing. But then as you progress, you will have a much better idea about how and where your photographs are going to be used. You will have a much better idea about why you took a frame in a particular way. Then everything becomes quicker. The more time you spend, the quicker it gets. So nothing to worry about there. And let's move on with our editing now. So here I've kind of decided the frame I want. So I move on and say, for example, this is the picture. In this case, I've decided to show. This is one of the pictures, let us say. So now these pictures are raw pictures. So raw picture is basically a direct output from the sensor. Now no amount of or rather no editing or no fine tuning has been done on any raw picture. This is the case irrespective of any camera you shoot, or this is the case in which in a camera that gives you a raw output. As the word stands raw, it is raw, it is unedited. So we will have to do some amount of editing to make it come closer to the way you saw it. So this is where a little bit of ethics come in. We'll talk about it a little more in detail in a short while, but before that, let's talk about how do we fine tune a raw image and give an output. So which output do we give? So that you will have to do it in consultation with the final output in which the photograph will be used. For example, if your photographs are going to be printed, the printer may need it in TIFF format or in a JPEG format, depending upon your situation, depending upon the printer they use. There are several factors, but that is decided in tandem or in consultation with your editor and the printer. So let's not too bothered about it. In fact, all these softwares will give you a whole variety of outputs that are possible. You can output your raw files as TIFF, as JPEG, as PNG. Then there are so many other formats also. So nothing to worry about there. So now in this case, I've chosen this picture and I'm going to slightly fine tune it. So fine tuning it, editing, there are several debates about it, how far one could edit, how less one should edit. There are raging debates about it, which you will learn if you get into those debates. In this case, if you take my philosophy of photo editing, I will do much of the editing while I am framing the picture and before I press the trigger. Before I press the shutter button, to the extent possible, I choose my frame, I choose all the editing in my brain so that there is very little editing that I could do post taking the picture. So in this case, as I have already discussed about the reason why I took these pictures, I am going to do minimal amount of editing here. So what I am going to do is, in this screen what you see is on the left, as you see the folders, and then you see an enlarged view of the photograph itself, but then the tools are not showing here, the tools that are needed to make the fine tuning. So I am basically now through the menu, I am bringing in the tools that would help me to fine tune the picture. Now, there are several ways, easy ways and complex ways of editing fine tuning a picture. So, most softwares will give you presets. So, for example, here if you look at it, on this corner you have something somewhere to edit your exposure, somewhere to change your recorded settings. There are several other things. So, in this case I am going to use a preset which is called landscape. Why landscape? Because the photograph I had taken is in fact of a landscape, and landscape presets are somewhat tuned to give a better presentation of such pictures. So, let us apply it and see what happens. So, I am going to apply the landscape preset, and that is done. So, now you could see a slight difference between the previous slide before I applied the landscape setting and now after I have applied the landscape setting. So, I hope you could perceive the changes. We can toggle back and forth to see whether the changes are to your liking or not. So, this is before applying the preset, and this is after setting the preset. You toggle between the two as many times as you want until you are convinced, but then the beauty of it is once you apply a preset, there is absolutely no restriction on going back to your original picture. Because it is a raw picture, you will always have the option of going back to the first level where you can undo all the editing you have done. That apart, now that we are on the now that we have applied this landscape preset, then it still offers you a lot of further fine tuning options here. So, work around on these things. If you want, play around on it. If you are a photojournalist, be conscious about the ethics, because as a photojournalist the photograph you show are expected to be as close as truth itself, what you witnessed. What you witnessed, you are sharing it with others. So, here there is a slightly restricted level of creative freedom. So, the closest possible level where you keep your pictures to the reality that you witnessed is always the best. Whereas, if you are an artist, or if you are just experimenting with color, or if you are just going to share it with your friends and family, then you have absolutely all the freedom to change the color, to distort it, to increase one color or to decrease all the colors. It is up to you. There you are largely playing around with it. You are basically working on how your aesthetic senses are playing. That is, you have absolute creative freedom there. But as a photojournalist, if you are going to share this image, and if there is a certain message associated with that image, it is better to stay as close to the way you witnessed the scene. So, that apart, so that largely concludes about how we select a picture, how we shortlist a picture, and finally decide on a final picture.
In this video, we have learnt of how to do the final selection of images for our projects. In the next video, we are going to learn further by seeing various photographs of Mr. Gopinath Srikandan and see how these images were selected for publication.